Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Hentges with Beyond the Chart, and in this stock market update, I'm going to take a look at the Dow Industrials on a daily and weekly basis. We're going to look at the VIX, 3 key ETFs that I look at every week: semiconductors, home builders, and financials. And then today we're going to find out, is the sun going to shine on solar stocks? So we're going to look at TAN. Stay tuned. All right, we're starting off here with the Dow. The Dow was down 45 points on Friday. Not a whole lot of movement, and it's been kind of little consolidation this last week, just pushing sideways. You can see it was a lot lower during the day, came back, but it never came back positive above the open anyway, like it did on Wednesday and Thursday here in terms of the candles. White candles are showing a close above the open, the dark candles showing a close below the open. And in the dark also means it's a down day. Now I should say there's a little bit of a difference. If it's a up day and the close is below the open, it'll be like a dark blue. But if it's red, that means it was a down day. All right, that's the picture for. I'm keeping the wave count that I've got in here. Minute wave. We're trying to work a minor wave 3 to the upside. We're getting some kind of funky little maneuver in here. I'm not quite sure what we're getting. Don't know if we're getting an extended fourth wave. If the fifth wave is petering out in here. The fifth, I'm talking about the fifth minute wave of minor wave 3. One thing I do know is that if minor wave 3 completes in here shorter than what I expect, there's no rule that it has to be equal to 1. Let's start off with that. Okay, so here we've got 1. If we end up getting a 3 right in here, the main thing we got to be considering is the fact that wave 5, you'll have a fourth wave, and the wave 5 will be shorter than wave 3 because the Elliott wave rule is wave 3 can never be the shortest of the three motive waves. Okay, here's motive wave 1, here's retracement wave 2, here's motive wave 3. And then we'll get 4 and then 5. So that's the way we're playing it out. Let's take a look at the weekly index. Here's a little bit clearer in terms of how that picture is playing out. Right now, we continue to count this as 3 to the upside. And unless the market decides to change and morph into something else, which the market can do at a moment at any time. All right, the VIX, 11.34. So we continue to be down here in the basement with the VIX, very, very low, very complacent. And we have had periods of time where we just stay there. So we'll continue to watch and see if it tried to turn twice. Okay, right here. 2 times we got closes above the blue line, which is the 10-day exponential moving average. And then we didn't get any follow through. So here and here, same thing again. So now we're back down below the 10. So watching to see if it'll turn. And now that I'm looking at this, probably could draw a little trend line in here across this top. And if it breaks that, it might indicate a little bit of a breakout. And I don't want to call that any kind of head and shoulders. So we're just looking at that from a potential trend line. But the key thing I'm looking at is getting above, closing above the 10-day moving average and then going. Now, sometimes it'll do it and then it doesn't go anywhere. So, but at a minimum, you're going to have that before it goes somewhere. So that's what I'm watching. Okay, the next one is the semiconductors. Let's take a look at that. Continues to push to the high side. Look how it's riding above the 10 beautifully, riding outside the Keltner channels. We're getting a little extended here. I think we're getting very, very close to the third intermediate wave within this fifth primary wave up. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We're working this third wave, but it continues to lead, continues to show the way up for the market. Home builders, not so much. Home builders are staying down. They're lagging. They kind of from this high point here on July 28th. They're definitely down. A little bit of a corrective type action. Now we'll see whether it can get above 36.5 in here, these previous peaks, and make a run. But we've got this trend line here too that it seems to have repelled it twice. So the home builders are lagging, and the financials, they look like they're breaking out here, but then they're just kind of dogging it, not going anywhere, just sideways consolidation. Now that could mean that it's setting up for the next push. And this trend line, by the way, is from, you know, all of this corrective action from the peak back up here in July of last year. So this looks like it wants to continue to push to the upside, but it's not been super strong last week and half to 2 weeks. All right, that's the financials. All right, let's take a look at TAN, the Guggenheim Solar ETF, looking at the solar stocks. So here's all the trading I've got on TAN. I believe that's all of it. Hopefully that's all of it. Let me turn it into a weekly chart. Yeah, it's into 2008, the beginning of 2008. So this looks like, you know, a big move, leg down, sideways, a pullback, and then another big leg down here. I was calling this, looking from this low point in 2013, I went ahead and looked at as if this was primary wave 1, as if we were starting a new upturn in solar stocks. And the other thing you could look at is it seems like it's broken out of this a little bit. Let me look at this from that standpoint. So that's why I was going with this primary wave 1. So therefore we're working a primary wave 2 pullback, and that's why this looks like what we call a flat in Elliott wave, a 3-wave A followed by a pullback to the beginning of A, B, and then you get a 5-wave C coming down. Now this looks like it's ended down here, the 5th wave being a ending diagonal pattern in which it threw over. A lot of times it'll do that. Now the only question with this that I've got is this move coming off the end of this doesn't look super strong and impulsive yet. So I'm not quite sure what this is doing. We could have a little 5-wave ending here, and we're doing a little sideways too. We'll continue to watch this development. But I think it's really interesting that it's right at this long-term trend line also from this high back up here in April 2015. So it's right there. And I think if it pushes up through that and breaks through that, I think it's going to go. And I think there's a decent chance that this is getting ready to start a new leg up. But if it's really going to be, I mean, here's the only caveat I've got on this. And let me make a copy of this. I'll just say one caveat anyway. And I'm going to call this wave 2, as if that's wave 2. So here's the thing. If this is primary wave 3 starting, if we're starting this, it's going to need to get some steam and get going, because wave 3s are supposed to be pretty strong. Okay, they're usually one of the strongest impulse waves. And look how vertical wave 1 over here started. Okay, so this is the kind of wave count I'm looking for and what I want to see start to happen on this. Otherwise, we're still doing some kind of corrective action and morphing into that. So that's the picture on the current picture on TAN. And maybe it's going, maybe it's rallying with oil. I'm not sure why. It seems like it's been in this downtrend related to oil. I'm not sure that there's anything that makes any kind of sense related to that. But that's what it seems to be doing anyway. All right, we'll see if we get a breakout on TAN in the next week or two. All right, everyone, that's it for today. If you felt like the video was helpful, hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. And if you're not watching this on my website, head on over to the website and check it out. Check out the membership for my insider members, and check out the course I've got for you. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Talk to you on the next video.